Welcome back to the Getting Results Inc. podcast. I'm Coach Gino alongside his super coach, Coach Ken. Coach Ken, super coach, how's it going?
We have a major battle keeping America safe for capitalism today, and we have a fine soldier with us, a guy on
Yes,
the
indeed.
echelon, on the vanguard, on the tip of the spear.
Yes, indeed. And to delve a little bit more into that, what Super Coach is saying today, we're happy to welcome one of our clients, Slaten Gough of Gough Wealth Management in Aledo, Texas. Right, Slaten?
That's right.
Awesome. Slaten, welcome to the podcast. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Nothing to, as I was saying just a second ago, nothing to complain about. We've been very blessed this year, today, and always. So
Awesome.
we're doing well.
Good,
Thanks for
good. Great
having
to
me.
hear. Oh, great to have you on the call on our podcast today and to talk about you, your business, coaching, and whatever else comes up as we have our conversation today. And so now you've been a client of Getting Results for now a little over a year now, right? So tell us a little bit about yourself, your business.
Yeah. So I guess it's been over a year. Time flies whenever you're having fun. So I've got obviously a wealth management business clear through Raymond James. I was previously at another firm in Edward Jones, spent about 5 years there, and I've been over here for about a year and a half. So I've been in the business close to 7 years. I'm very fortunate. My business partner just happens to be my father. So that's been something interesting. And so we worked together. I think a year ago, Gino, when you and I first started visiting, I had just left my previous firm and ended up where I was and kind of finished up that transition and everything was going well. Kind of a little bit about our particular business and everybody. The cool thing about where we are is you can structure it however the heck you want to. And so whenever I got over here, except my dad and I were basically running two separate businesses under one roof. He had two support staff. I had one. We were both going by the name of Gough Wealth Management, calling ourselves a team. But I was working towards one goal and he was working towards the other. And so about 6 months into that, we decided to we sat down with an attorney actually and created a full-blown partnership. And now we've got we basically dumped all of our assets into one in our industry. It's just called like an FA number. And so and we just split that up accordingly based on percentages. And so that's kind of how it is that we operate. And I'd say in the last year, it's completely changed everything for us for the better. And so we truly are working as a team. It's helped us grow our business significantly and focus. We've got a full team focusing on one goal, and that's growth and taking care of our clients. To give you some insight, I think a year ago, right before we switched to this kind of partnership model, we were managing. I was looking this morning about 180 million combined, and as of today, we're creeping up on about 300 million in assets under management. It's been an exceptional year. Obviously, the market's helped a lot, but I'm telling you, structuring it how we have it's helped us explode, along with some of the things that you guys help me with on a day-to-day basis. So that's kind of where we are. We are very blessed to be where we are, and I was talking to my dad actually yesterday. He's been in the business for 25 years, and he said, "Man, I've never been this excited in my entire career than what we're doing right now." So we're pumped about it and keeping our foot on the gas.
Awesome.
Very nice.
So Slaten, in working with your dad, and that's a conversation a lot of guys and gals. Like, okay, we have a senior person in the business, you have the young buck being you. Like, what have been some of the challenges and triumphs of that?
Challenges. I would say the challenges is my mind runs at 1,000 miles an hour, and in this business that we're in, we can, especially under the structure that we're at now, we can do so much for our clients, and there's like a never-ending platform of things that we can do. So I'll learn an idea, and I'm like, we got to do that now. And my dad, one thing I learned from him, and I'm glad we work together, is he's very good at pumping the brakes. And when I'm wanting to go 1,000 miles an hour, he's wanting to pump the brakes and analyze things, 10 times over. And that does sometimes we do butt heads on that. But one thing I've learned is being slow into things like that has been very helpful. And so he moves a little slower than I do in action.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's actually a really good dynamic, but I think we kind of get worked up at each other sometimes. Regarding that, given the fact that, we're related, we've been in this little town for pretty much my entire life. Now that we're finally teamed up and working together, we're able to brand ourselves differently than we were before. The name's known, and it's been, like I said, this year has just been a complete eye opener, and it's been a blast.
Awesome. And what called you to work with your father?
Well, the day I graduated college, I went to work at my previous firm. He was there too. And I knew, like, it was the weirdest deal. We're in a tiny little town, and they wouldn't let us work together. Strangest thing. And so I literally had to go a mile down the road from the office and we're in now and open another office. And is for whatever reason, I don't know, but we've always wanted to work together. I mean, it just is what it is, and so this is what's allowed us to do that. And so it's been really cool. And as you guys are probably familiar with succession planning and things like that for businesses, and I'm just fortunate enough now where we are that the succession side of things will be something that we get to participate in as long as we're both still alive. When it is the time for him to hang up the boots, if he ever does.
If he ever does. Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. So, and your business grew by almost a third. So that's an aggressive growth, right? $120 million in a 12-month period. That is a very, very healthy growth spurt. I mean, that is many people's career, if you will. So bringing in that $120 million, what do you think was the key, or what did you do? Or tell us the story of that.
So obviously I'm about 7 years into the business. I'm no expert at this. I don't know if anybody's ever an expert, but I will give every bit of credit to the fact that we have very good processes in place. We have identified exactly who it is that we love working with, and like we sit down every Tuesday in a team meeting, and we always say, and I know I've talked to you guys about this all the time, knocking on doors and seminars and all that stuff. It ain't that fun. And so if we can figure out how to spend more time and take better care of the folks that we really enjoy working with, and the folks that we love working with, it doesn't mean that they got to have $10 million. That's up to us to make that decision. And so we literally talk about it every week. How can we take extremely good care of those people? And from that, our referral business has just exploded.
So Slaten, talk about that, because you are doing some different things than the normal advisor would do to help move that needle on that, and doing some fun stuff. So talk about a little bit of what you're doing to bring some of those clients together and prospects together that has really been working for you.
Yeah. So one thing that, like working with Gino, one thing that I've worked hard on this year is getting out of the office and doing things that I like to do with people that I like being around. And so I really like to hunt. I think you guys are coming down next week, and we're going hunting together, and so that'll be fun. So yes. I spend a lot of time hunting with people that I enjoy working with or being around. For instance, it's very simple. About 40 miles north of our office, I lease out a big old sunflower field every year for the dove season. And the fact that on a Tuesday morning, if I want to load up with a group of guys and just drive out there and go hunt dove, that's been phenomenal for me because I like hunting. And also, people always say the best place to do business is out on the golf course. It's pretty stinking fun out in the dove field too. So doing that, I did. Gino, I know we talked about this. I'm terrible at golf. It's something that I've wanted to get better at, and I actually got this idea from another gentleman. It is that y'all work with, and so I do a monthly golf clinic, and I open it up for 10 people, and we send that out to clients and prospective clients. And I've got a very good relationship with a coach out there, and once a month he'll put on a clinic. And it's funny, I talk about it's no fun doing seminars. I've only done a handful of seminar type educational events since I've been in this business, and it's no fun when you send invites out for that to 500 people and 2 people show up. Not fun at all. But we send out the invites for that golf clinic every month, and within probably 30 minutes I have it full. So it's things that people are excited about. I'm not out there to shove mutual funds down their throat. We're just there to hang out, have fun, and maybe learn something. And so a couple of those things. And then we do we do 2 big client events every year for all of our clients. And that's like something I'd say in the last few years, people look forward to that every year. And it's been really neat because we have a lot of clients that do own businesses, small businesses, whoever it is, and they get to sit with each other at these events. And it's kind of cool to hear about this client or owns this business. Now they utilize their services, and it kind of just turns into a networking event too that everybody looks forward to. So those are just a few things, and I could probably think of 10 more, that's not a lot of effort.
Now, for all of our dedicated listeners out there, hopefully you've seen a few patterns and you have a real life endorsement of structure sets you free. And then the next one, when you're in alignment, you go further and faster, less fuel. To quote Slaten roughly directly, there is nothing like on a Tuesday morning grabbing a bunch of guys and going out to the field to go dove hunting. Now, many of you are addicted to the office and you believe the most important place for you to be is behind your desk, having butt-itis. Listen to Tip of the Spear. But real opportunity happens outside, right? And I think Slaten being a great example of that, like how awesome is that? So not only when you're running in traffic, can you bump into somebody and say, hey, do you dove hunt? And if they say yes, bam. If they say no, you go, well, do you golf? And they're like, well, we're running these golf clinics once a month. It's a beautiful way that structure sets you free. And another thing for all of us to realize, he doesn't make it up. He's not like thinking, okay, what am I going to do this month? What's going to happen? Like, no, we have 2 client events per year. We have monthly golf clinics. When it's dove season, we're hunting actively. Probably also does deer hunting. It's just a beautiful structure that sets him free that is unique to Slaten, and Slaten's in alignment with himself. And once again, just to remind everybody, $120 million in a year is phenomenal. Those are phenomenal numbers.
I know you said that again. I just want to, it's been a complete team effort. And the keeping track of the assets and everything is something that we could do a better job at. But we've just learned if we take care of business, it takes care of itself. And so, no, we've been, like I said, we've been very blessed. But between my dad and I, it's been a full team effort. And given that we're all together, that's kind of the totality of that. So, and I'll also piggyback off what you just said. I've struggled in the last 12 months working with Gino. I struggle getting out of the office sometimes, and it's not because I don't want to go be around people. It's because I've always had this feeling in my head that I need to be there working. And and if there's 5 other people in our office that are there working from 7:30 to 4:30, I feel like I need to be there too. So getting out of the office has been a change for me, but it's been great.
Actually,
awesome,
take that a next step further, Slaten. You also, one of the big thing in your plan and your design is to do that, but then also your health, right? You've been getting in great shape and all that. Talk about some of how you exercise. What do you do with that? How did you tie that into your design as well to make that happen?
Wait a minute, getting in good shape and building a business at the same time? How is that
It's
possible?
even better because then the way he does it, he'll even tell you there's another edge to that. So Slaten, talk about how you do that
Yeah.
and who
So
you do it with.
I I started doing CrossFit like 3 years ago, and
Awesome.
before I started doing that, you kind of look at these CrossFit people from the outside looking in. You kind of think they're crazy, uh, and not necessarily about the whole workout fitness side of things, but I've always, if you're a CrossFitter, you gotta let people know that you do CrossFit, whether they ask it or not, And so, anyways, my wife and I were looking for something that we could go do together and not, go to a gym where I used to go to a random gym. I'd walk in there and I had no accountability, anything like that. So I started doing CrossFit, and like the last 3 years, the community there is unbelievable. And so we've made some really good friends. And again, my main objective going into that was not to just go in and bend everybody's arm backwards, asking them to come into our office, sit down to invest money with me. My main goal there was to get, stronger, lose some weight, and, build relationships too. And so I do. Uh, my wife and I go together 3 times a week in the evenings, and then on Mondays and Thursdays I'll go during lunch. And so what that's done is I've built several relationships through CrossFit. I've become a lot healthier, and like I just joined I'm on the board of directors now for the Education Foundation at the school district in our town. I never would have had the opportunity. The president of that board I work out with, every day. A very, very nice lady. So there's been several opportunities to get in the mix more through those people, but also, a handful of business opportunities as well.
Yeah. And you're working out with your wife, so you get that great connection time. And by the way, Slaten recently had a little one. So what's he
Yeah.
just coming on a year now, right?
He turned one back in the end of June. So yeah, goes by quick.
Wow. All right. So let me summarize this for all of you. So $120 million in new assets, working out 5 times a week, 2 of those workouts during the business day, and having a 1-year-old. And once again, $120 million. Damn, this shit works. Good job, Gino. Slaten, you're like a poster child of this stuff. That's awesome. Right? When you're in alignment, further, faster, less fuel.
It's all Slaten. Yeah.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. So, Slaten, what would you say, have been we like to talk about slight edges, like those little things that just make a big difference in our day, in our business, our life. What would you say have been your slight edges? What would you summarize them as?
Trying to think, a slight edge for me is I really enjoy building good relationships. I like to think I could go talk to a stranger out in the middle of Timbuktu and I can somehow connect with them, somebody that they know that I know, that then turns into a good relationship. And so that's really all that I've focused on, is building relationships, not only with the folks that we work with, but also strangers too. And so our slight edge, or my slight edge, really is just, I don't know, I kind of stick to what I do every day, and it kind of takes care of itself. But all of my activities and things like that, from time to time, I'll go down a rabbit hole where I'm wasting time and doing probably not the best activities that I could be doing. But for the most part, my days and my weeks are all very similar, and it kind of just takes care of itself. So, I,
Structure sets you free.
yeah, my slight edge. I just guess, like I said, I'm very good at utilizing the relationships that I have, and being around people.
Wait a second. You're saying that you're good at building trust and likability, and so you're putting yourself in positions to do that.
I would say so.
Wow. What a crazy formula that is.
Yeah. I mean, I know this. We go eat lunch a lot. Okay. And I bring my lunch with me to the office sometimes, but, I, my dad once told me, he said, I dare you to accidentally walk into a high school basketball game here in Aledo with a suit and tie on. He said, I dare you to do that over and over and just see what happens. And so it's kind of the same concept in our little town. We go to lunch 2 or 3 times a week, and we have great conversations, but we kind of do it on purpose because there's not very many people walking around here with suit and ties on, and it's not to be cocky or anything. We want people to know who we are and what we do.
Awesome.
I mean, technically that's called a curiosity hook.
Yeah.
So you can all of us out there, you can leverage a curiosity hook in many ways.
Yeah.
Like one of our clients that you mentioned, Rob, who enrolled you in doing the golf clinics, is a former Marine. And on the back of his golf cart, he has a giant Marine flag flying when he drives downtown. So that is not necessarily to show off his Marineness, which it kind of is. But just as importantly, other people will self-select forward. Other Marines will see that, and that automatically creates a conversation. Right? So the idea of a curiosity hook. Or if you don't want to wear a suit, if you will, you can literally bring something with you. Like the other day, I was in one of my wife's stores that she likes to shop at with all those knickknacks, female home goods, and they had a dude in there with a parrot. Now, if you see a person with a parrot in a store, all of a sudden that is an opening to say, "Hey, nice bird." Right now, I'm not recommending anybody get a parrot because bird people are different kind of people, and birds last 1,000 years or something like that. They're like a dinosaur. But you can still, there are specific ways if you use your brains to attract attention. And then you can even hone it even further. Like, what kind of attention are you trying to attract? So if you are a gunner, if you are a CrossFitter, you can literally, if you have your CrossFit gear on, other people of the cult will come select you. You're creating conversations. So a little bit of brains goes a long way.
Yeah. So I'll elaborate on that a little bit. I talked about that dove field that I lease out. So I don't pay for that all up myself. What I do is I use that as an opportunity. It's X amount, and I put a list of 10 people that I want to split that with, and so like the members on that dove field, 4 or 5 of them are clients of mine, and then maybe 2 of them invited some of their best friends to be on there, and then 2 or 3 of those are folks that aren't clients of mine that could potentially become clients of mine. And so now I'm in a group message with those guys, and when I go out to the field, I'll ask them, do they want to join me? And so that was another,
Brilliant.
Didn't take much, but
brilliant.
I now have an introduction to 4 or 5 guys that I know like to hunt and could potentially become a client of mine one day.
Brilliant. Well played.
Love it. Hey, so we talk about Anvil a lot, and if you look, those listening, you can go to Bring the Bang, one of our podcasts. Slaten, what's your current Anvil? What are you working on? What are you continuing to swing the hammer on?
So I've kind of gone back and forth on the Anvil, and because I think the first go around that I did it, I probably overcomplicated it, and so really mine is all about my Anvil is something that I can do over and over again, and it's not hard. And I think at first I tried to make it too hard, and so mine is just all about, I would say, proactive contacts and generosity. And I know that the generosity part probably sounds silly, but it's very important to me that whether it's a prospective client or client, I love writing handwritten notes and little things like that. And so sending a few of those out every week, and then just something as simple as I think a lot of times, when I first started in this business, I literally go knock on 100 doors a day, and I'd come home and I'd start pounding out phone calls and phone calls and phone calls. And then you kind of get to a point where you don't have to go knock on doors to bring in business. So you also get real comfortable not making outbound phone calls to people that maybe makes you feel uncomfortable. And so 2 or 3 of those a week. I know that sounds like a very small number, but for me, it was a lot better than 0. And so, really outbound phone calls, and I'd say generosity through handwritten cards or education type stuff to those folks is kind of what I focus on. And then like I said, the stuff that I do every week and every month is just, I guess I would consider that part of the Anvil too, but it's already built in on it's on my calendar. So that's all we
Structure's
focus on,
there.
or all I focus on.
Beautiful. Awesome. Hey, so we got some listeners that are clients to this podcast, and we got some people who aren't, and some of them are potentially checking out coaching. What advice would you give them if they're a financial advisor and they're considering coaching now that you've been through the process, but thinking back to where you were when you first were thinking about it? What advice would you give to those who are listening?
I think the main thing for me that I was like really hung up on at first was the cost of having a coach. But it's been, like I said, I haven't thought twice about it. And obviously, the cost of having a coach is, for the growth that I've had, is pretty irrelevant. And so that was something that I was, especially 5 years into the business, I was by no means just rolling in money or anything. And so it was a sacrifice, but it was something that was important to me. So whether you're 25 years in or 5 years in like me, I think it's well worth the cost of having a coach. But you have to sacrifice some time and be dedicated to it, just because, like anything else, you can spend money on it. And if you don't, what do you guys say? Whatever you give more attention to, or whatever the sun shines on, or you give more attention to, shall grow. And so it's kind of like that, anything else, if you're bought in and put time into it, it definitely works out. So
Beautiful. Yeah.
yeah,
I wouldn't say that's a sacrifice. I'd say that's an investment. That's a
exactly.
hell of a return on your investment.
Yeah,
120 million. Damn.
I know.
We got to figure out how to get a percentage of this stuff.
You keep
That's why he's taking us hunting next week.
Oh,
you keep
that's a
saying
generosity thing.
I like to prep. The market has been very generous to us all, to equity investors, and so the market's helped us tremendously, as well as being a team. But I will say 100% the assets coming in are coming in, I'd say, heavier and faster than they ever have before. So
Yeah, hey, Slaten, I just thought of a client. So, you talk about being in the mix and all that. Can you talk about that person you just had coffee with? Like, you just wanted to meet that person, and I think this was what, 6 or 7 months ago, and just recently they became a client. Can you talk a little bit about that one? Do
yeah,
you know who I'm talking about?
I know a lot of people around town that I've never had an opportunity to be around much. And again, Gino, again, I get real comfortable in my ways, and so you encouraged me to reach out and set some time to just go visit, whether it's coffee or lunch. And so I took this gentleman to have some coffee, sat down and just visited. And I was talking about piecing people together that I know, it just turned into a conversation. I just happen to know, people that he went to high school with, and this and that in the relationship. So now that he's hunts on the bird lease with me, and has recently become a good client of ours. And so that was just all from just inviting to have coffee. And so that relationship, hopefully, if we take good care of them, and do our job, that will be a long lasting relationship.
So imagine that, just inviting someone just to have coffee just to be of service, just to know who they are, just to get to know them, turned into such a big relationship, or a great relationship in your life.
Yeah.
It's that easy, people. It's that simple.
It doesn't happen like that every single time, but that's why I always say it's a game of numbers. I'm sure y'all probably read that book, and you got to keep doing it over and over again.
That's right.
It's easy. It is, but I'm going to also submit it isn't. Right? There is more to a human interaction than meets the eye. And one of the things that I've noticed over the years with advisors is that sometimes their minds can be jumbled, or they're thinking 10,000 things, or they're in front of someone and they're really not there. They're working agenda, or they're trying to close them, or they're asking their uncovery questions or discovery questions, and they're more interested in their technique than actually engaging in an individual. But a funny thing happens if you can get alignment with self, you begin to have an understanding of your mind, you actually have skills to be present, to make sure that you're actually there, that you're not distracted by messes, by a shambled office, or by a dysfunctional team. All of that stuff, when you're in alignment like that, that stuff's behind you, you occur differently, right? Who you're being is different. Like when you're across from another individual and you're confident in who you are and what you do, and you're simply coming from trying to be of service, and that you get in your soul that what you do is noble and right, you resonate much differently from the dude who's trying to sell you, right? He's trying to close you. Yeah. So there's a part of that path can be cultivated to your advantage. And I think that's a huge slight edge that we often don't talk about. Like we talk about, it's pretty easy. You just get in front of somebody and you convert them, especially if you have your odds stacked in your favor, which is true. But if you're in alignment with self and you get what you're doing is noble and right, it's an entirely different level.
I love that. And I've had to kind of restructure my mindset that as long as I'm doing a great job, if I'm in front of somebody that I have the opportunity to possibly onboard them as a client, if I do my job and I do a good job at it, if they decide not to work with us, they're missing out on a great opportunity on their end.
Right.
Not I'm going to go home and, cry about it or anything. I've done everything in my power to add value to that individual's life. And if they decide to go elsewhere, all power to them. But I know we do it. I know for a fact that we do a good job for the folks that we do business with.
Perfect. Right. And so, and knowing that is your red advantage when you meet with others.
You're a
because
lot more confident, like you said, whenever you're around those people or meeting with them.
Sure. Because no matter how much money you make from the individual, it's not going to be life changing, but yet the impact that you can have on them is life changing for them.
Yeah.
Right. Just imagine if you make $5,000 from a client, just imagine how much money they have saved in taxes. Okay. Or that they've gained by staying on plan, or simply by saving them from doing dumb things. Right. That the value is always greater than the cost.
Yep.
Nice. So Slaten, what's next? What's next for you in the business? What are you tackling next? What do you feel is important for you?
We're just like, we're going to continue to keep our foot on the gas. And I think Gino, I may have mentioned to you where we're at, the firm that Raymond James that we clear through. We have a very unique opportunity. They have what's called a professional partners program. And so you can basically partner with a CPA firm, an attorney firm, like a mortgage broker, whoever. And if those folks were to refer business, there is a revenue sharing opportunity there. And so we have actually created a binding partnership with one of I'd say the premier accounting firms in our area. And we have a very great relationship with them. And so, and I was talking to my dad the other day, we're going to continue to cultivate that relationship, because that could, on top of what we're currently doing, that could be very, very lucrative for us in our business. And so there's just a couple of things, moving forward in the short term that we just want to focus on that can help us improve, where, we're not adding hours and hours of work to our plate. So that was just something off the top of my head that we talk about frequently and that we're kind of working on right now.
Yeah, and you and I had talked about integrating them into your ecosystem around golf and hunting as well, right? To continue that path as well and continue to build those relationships and deepen them as well. So
100%.
it's great stuff. Great stuff. All right, cool.
Good work between the two of you. I'm very proud. Very proud. You did a great job, Slaten. Awesome. Awesome. On top. On top.
Yes. So
Keeping
Slade,
America's safe for capitalism. See? Told you.
So Sladen, what do you got planned for us for hunting? What are we going after? What can we expect?
Yeah, we're gonna go out to that dove field that I said, and it's dove season right now, and like I said, they're flying. But the thing about dove is you never know. I mean, they could be flying today, and tomorrow they may not be. And so, at the end of the day, to me, one thing I love about hunting is just being out there and doing it. And like I said, whether we shoot anything or not, which I believe we will, at least we're able to get out there and be in the outdoors and hang out. It's a lot better than sitting in my office chair.
So listen, I don't know if it's my other clients from Texas that are just trying to scare me, but around rattlesnakes. But so Ken, I didn't tell you this, but I got on Amazon, and at the suggestion of one of my clients, I got snake guards to go around my legs to go over my boots. So I'm ready for rattlesnakes. So I don't know how many are going to be out there, but I'm ready for rattlesnakes too, Slaten.
Okay, well, you're going to be very popular in Texas. I'm going to be like, boy, where are you from? Oh,
Hey, I'll be happy to say I'm a gringo. I'm
not a gringo.
Whatever. Greenhorn.
There's snakes everywhere, and I've gone out there a handful of times so far, and I hadn't seen any, but you never know. I've stepped on them. I've nearly stepped on rattlesnakes in December, and so they're out all the time. And yes, I would definitely wear boots and whatever it is that you got, just in case.
Maybe they have snake helmets. You want to wear a helmet? I think they're flying
Do they make them?
rattlesnakes.
If they make a snake, I'm game. They fly. Do those things fly too?
No,
They fly.
You don't have to worry about that.
Well, then maybe you should tell them about the scorpions then, Slaten.
Come on, you scared me last time I was in Texas around that one.
Texas is a crazy place. There's a lot of bugs and animals and all sorts of stuff. So,
like Ken likes to say, the planet is trying to kill us.
Nature is actively trying to kill you.
100%.
Oh God, my God.
So,
hey, Coach, Super Coach, any other thoughts or questions for Sladen before we wrap up and close this one out?
Well, I think everybody listening, or if you get a chance to watch or look, I think what you'll notice is a man who's in alignment. Right? Look at the ease of how Slaten acts, and he understands who he is and what he's doing. And underneath all of that is that he's created a structure or his design, right? And that's what we try to help with all of our clients, is figuring out what your design is and getting in alignment with it. Because I've said this before, I'll say it again, that business is a game that can never be won. It's only played. But if you enhance the player, the game itself improves, right? So the more times that Slaten does the things that he likes to do with people that he likes or appreciates, he's doing a probability stack in his favor. And he's doing one of the most powerful things underneath all of this. He's repeating it. He's doing it again, right? That there are constantly people in the pipeline, in the mix. He is constantly in that mix. So what that really does, it frees him from having any one of those really matter, right? Now, what does that mean? That means that gives him the ability and the freedom to simply be. That he's not worried about, oh my God, if I don't close this guy, I'm going to wreck my month. I'm going to lose my house, right? All that drama is not there. Why? Because he's continually in the mix. It's powerful. It's good work. Good stuff. Looking forward to coming out, seeing the dove field, little Texas.
Thank y'all very much for having me, as well as, Gino, I appreciate, and you're consistent. I always laugh. We have a phone call every Monday at 1, and my phone rings at not 12:59, not 1:01, 1:30. It rings at 1 o'clock, and so I
Excellent.
appreciate it very much. And like I said, it's been a process, but I truly do believe everything that it is that you guys help with. It's not. It didn't take a lot on my end to change much, but it's little slow pieces of that takes a lot of weight off my shoulders and makes it a lot easier. So, like I said, our business, we've been extremely blessed, and we appreciate y'all being a part of it for sure.
Awesome.
Awesome. Appreciate you too.
Yeah,
Appreciate
same
you
here.
too. You got to come to the peerage in
Ooh,
February, Sarasota.
I bet
that'd
I
be
can do
next
that.
level for you.
I'll have to run that by the
We'll
by the
talk.
wife, but I bet I can.
We'll
You
talk.
bet.
Bring her and the little one.
Yeah. Oh, it's great in February.
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
in Texas.
Oh yeah. All right, awesome. Slaten, thanks for joining us. Great time. We really do appreciate you. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's podcast and got value from it, please be sure to share and follow our podcasts. Hit the like button or give us a rating. We can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, gettingresultsinc.com. Plenty of places to listen to our podcast, so check us out. And by the way, if you're not on social media, check us out on Instagram, LinkedIn. We're on everything now, right? We're on Threads. We're on TikTok. So there's no end to getting our content. So with that being said, tune in next week for our next episode. Be great.
Thank y'all.